Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM22 Youth Factory. We're on episode number 7 now. We're right at the end of the season. So we just started this season last episode. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you go back and check that one out. But we've only had 2 draws this season. Otherwise, we've won every match. The U19s have been equally prolific in that they've had 1 draw all season and nearly 30 wins. I think they've played about 29 matches or 28 matches now. So 27 or 28 wins and 1 draw. So we're good comparatively to our level. That much we knew was coming, with especially the second intake giving us a more kind of complete. So yes, we're going to fly through the next couple of seasons, the next couple of tiers. I mean, promotions should come quick, but you know, that big problem we have right now is zero progression of the players. We have plenty of potential, and comparatively to who we're up against, yes, much better, but we do have some challenges. We have some obstacles to overcome. Well, anyway, as we enter the final match of the season, it's against the team that has already secured second place. We've comfortably won the league. They are comfortably in second. And last episode, we watched the game where we had a pretty tight contest, but led by 2-0 at half. And it was still a fairly tight contest in the second half. I mean, we weren't dominating or anything like that, but they also didn't look like scoring. And then we coughed up the ball late, whether it was through contact or just dropped, I don't know, but Hungara dropped the ball and they pounced on it and put it in the back of the net. And then a shocking penalty in stoppage time gave them a draw. So we're looking to exact a little bit of revenge in this final match of the season. Let's see if we can get that done, and let's wrap this one up and push right on into our next season. But there was a couple things I want to do before we do that, before we proceed to that next season. Firstly, let's get that last match done. Final match already underway, and free kick there. Nicely taken, but the keeper reacts well. He had a good amount of time to react. Snellingen, great ball over the top, and really good first touch there to bring it under control. Keeper, nice stop on that one. Not an easy save, not an easy finish. I think both of them did well on that play. No goal. Ooh, Malum, nice recovery of the ball. Through ball for Snellingen, saw that one coming. The pullback, lays it off. What a pass. And Boyatsiev is got that ball in the back of the net. Here in the 12th minute, we lead 1-0. Great through ball from Kelsey, and Astensio with a fantastic finish to the far post on that one. Just laid it underneath the keeper, passed it into the corner, just across the line. And that was a fantastic through ball. Astensio a little strong on that first touch, but a great second touch. Keeper, nothing he could do there. Great through ball. Snellingen has a chance. He goes just wide. That was probably 4 to 6 inches. Another ball over the top for Snellingen. This time keeper makes a good stop, gets a leg to it. Dahl makes a terrible play on that one as they had it well under control, inbounds and no pressure, and he ends up dribbling it out. Here in possession, half-hour mark. Boyatsiev, I thought he might have had Snellingen through, but he doesn't. There is a nice one from Astensio. Snellingen called offside, even though he is literally marked man-to-man tight, body to body. I don't see how he's offside there. Counterattack going the other way. Astensio plays it inside. Again outside and using the space. That ball doesn't make it. That over the top ball headed out. Cleared by the D, but we recover the ball pretty quickly. Nice ball to Snellingen. Another one. I think he was offside that time, but no call this time. Approaching halftime. Another great ball over the top, and Snellingen beats his man and almost beats the keeper. Keeper, the backward diving stop, just getting a hand to it. No chance if he dives sideways to fall on top of that ball, so really good reaction save from him. Kumar gets to Kelsey. Kelsey lays it off instead of crossing it in, even though he had 2 guys in a strong position. We had Snellingen a couple times for through balls there, but nobody caught it. Nobody saw it. Didn't have the vision and couldn't get that through ball in. And we approach halftime with an XG equal to our goals. Shots at 13, and they've had just 3. Their XG very, very low. Very much in control here for potentially the remainder of this match. Let's see if they come out playing different in the second half, but first half was all us. Boyachiev is always a little bit further back. He's not the advanced forward, so it's hard to get that over the top ball, especially when he doesn't have tremendous pace. So playing that one to him over the top fails to reach the target, so that's a bad decision on that pass. Jakobsen on a yellow. We do not want to risk that, and I have plenty of subs. Let's go ahead and bring on Langvand here, as we have just over 20 minutes left. Snelligen! Still cannot finish this game off. The keeper is absolutely keeping them in this match. Otherwise, we would have a couple more goals. And that is the first chance creation we have seen all match for the opposition. Cam Snelligen from the keeper. He's got their keeper beat, and Snelligen, potential tap in. Defense may be able to get a foot in and get the block, but all you have to do is beat that leg, and he doesn't take the chance, and he ends up laying it off for nothing. And then they get a goal. This thing is not over yet. You've got to be kidding me. Are we in for another? So last time around, right, it was not dominating. Last time we were pretty neutral, but that was offside. Way offside. Yeah, the flag's raised. That wasn't even close. That was actually kind of close. How quick he escaped that line, it had looked a lot worse than it actually was. That was tighter, but it was still offside. Go ahead and do some time wasting. Not something we normally do. Go ahead and work the ball. And let's start using those subs. Malum. Let's go ahead and bring on Johansson. Come on, D. Where's the D? Ugh. That took a solid block on that one to get that out of there. Corner kick. Cleared out. Still in possession, though. Thought they had a chance for the long-range shot, but they opted not to take it. Matheson, do I have a sub for you? Yes, we do. Boyachiev finally makes a good play, but his cross does not make it to the target. We recover the ball, though, and we set it up. Great outlet there. The cross. We win that one. Looked like it was tipped over. It hit the crossbar. I didn't hear it bang, but the ball absolutely took a deflection. If it wasn't the keeper pushing it over, it must have been off the bar. Should have heard a clank, but okay. Time's already up, but they are giving them additional time. Maybe we should try to kill this off with one last sub. There it is. Final whistle. We do not see a repeat of the earlier contest in the season where they managed to squeeze 2 goals out in the end. This time we hang on. XG wise, this thing came out just about right. Our second half did not match our first half at all. They were a lot more aggressive, and our guys kind of took their foot off the gas and realized the end of the season was coming and let things go. I mean, outside of a couple moments, not much happened in the second half for us besides them scoring. Final league tally, we have 44 points from 16 played with a plus 33 goal differential. The opposition this time was WAMCAM 2. They finished on 30 points, comfortably in second. Not a perfect season, but we did manage to avoid losses throughout the entirety. It's only 16 matches played. It's not like it was a very long season, but 14 wins and 2 draws along the way. I'll have to do a check-in on the club reputation to see how that part's going. Matchday commercial retail went up a little bit, but there's just so little money. And the sponsorship money was worse in Tier 9 than what we had in Tier 10. Let's hope we see a little improvement to that next season because we need the money. We need the money really bad. Club awards, Calzi was player of the season and young player, of course. Signing this... No. That one doesn't matter. We lose players without repercussion as we get them back the next day. Snelligen gets goal of the season, though actually not scoring a whole lot of goals because the assistant manager, when he was in charge, wasn't selecting him terribly often. Kalzi is top goal scorer with 7. Stencio with 5 assists and the best match rating of a 7.7. Following our 3rd season and 2nd straight promotion, my reputation is at 10%. It's something. I mean, it's coming along. It's making progress. I now have full knowledge of Norway. Not that that matters since we're not scouting, but it is good. It's good for a couple of reasons. One of the factors that goes into your youth intake is your manager reputation. So that building absolutely helps get slightly better players year by year. Okay, another factor is the level you're in, but the level you're in is really only comparative to those that are in your level. And we're always going to be better than those in our level in terms of youth recruitment. So we're always going to have that edge, but we're always going to be behind the top Norway clubs because they're at a higher level until we actually get up to said level. The things that I'm known for, that's good. That helps. Here's how the attributes look now. Defending has gone up. It's a 7 now. We're making a little bit of progress here and there, just a bit at a time. People management has jumped to a 10. So that one is definitely coming along. The discipline, the knowledge, those were all 1s when we started. So it's slowly coming along, but it's definitely coming along. We are getting better as the manager. Club reputation is a huge factor in that youth intake, and my oh my, how far we have come. We were at 1 reputation. Now after 3 years, it's 565. That's out of 10,000 though. Okay, it's out of 10,000. We have so far to go, but guaranteed none of the Norwegian clubs have terribly high reputations. So we don't have as far to go as you would think to get to at least the top, to get the best players in every intake. Because we're definitely not getting the best youth players in all of Norway. We're just getting really good overall intakes. But until we build that reputation, until we climb that ladder, we're not going to necessarily get the best until we have better staff. That's one big factor, because I do have a director of youth now, but that director is garbage. And actually, speaking of, this is that next aspect. This was that last thing I wanted to do before pushing into next season. Pushing into our next youth intake really would be the next place we pick up at. Chairperson not changing. My role not changing. I've already gotten a new 1-year contract for next year, so we're all set there. But I need to do something about staff. Now, Sandra Samuelson, our head physio, not changing that one. They are signed up as an amateur. We cannot afford people, and they're working for free. I will accept that we have a head physio that's working for free as long as we can't afford anything. But beyond my salary, I have 3 other players. In fact, 2 of them are making significantly more than I am, including a terrible assistant coach. Good luck to me finding a replacement, but I'm going to try. They're terrible. If there's anybody willing, I can find somebody better, but it's about finances. Signing somebody is going to be more about the finances. The head of youth development, likewise, they all have expiring contracts. The U19 head coach, I very much like to have that, because otherwise it tries to make me manage the U19s, and I really don't want to do that. Though I could assign my assistant coach to take that job, and we could save us one role, save a little bit of money, but the U19s coach really isn't getting paid much. That's a very small amount. We're $250,000 in debt. These salaries that combine not even 20,000 or just over 20,000 if you throw mine in there, that's not what's really hurting us when we're losing 250. That would make it 230. Sure, it's better, but it's the youth setup that we have that is costing us so much money. And we don't want that to go away, because then we have no intake. We have no players coming in. We want to maintain that. We just need to bring in more money. We need to improve our finances, but we definitely don't want to remove the core problem that's putting us in a little bit of financial ruin. Like I said, I think last episode, right now, I need to just bear with it, survive for a while, climb the ladder really fast till we get into a more stable situation where we can bring in big sponsors, maybe get a bigger stadium, or just sell a few players to break even and resolve our financial ruin issues that we have. All right, so I'm going to go in and look for some other staff and see if I can upgrade, because we have some reputation now. We've moved up to a couple higher levels. There might be some better applicants out there that could actually help us a little bit, and maybe just maybe with their help we can see a tiny amount of development in the team. I mean, even a tiny amount would be a step in the right direction, because they have plenty of potential. So trying to see that out, right, would be massive. Okay, so we do have a very obvious choice for a significant upgrade for the assistant coach. Now the big thing is whether I can afford him or not. Amazingly, he's asking for half the money of our soon-to-be outgoing assistant manager. So, hell yeah. Big upgrade and cost us less money. Thank you very much. All right, so I've brought in 2 new coaches, retained our under-19s. He was good enough. The replacements could have been ever so slightly better, or roughly the same. We only signed him this year, so that makes sense. Eliasson is the new assistant coach. Still not good, but nowhere near as bad as the one we had. And he is fairly determined, so that's going to help. Vertical tiki-taka, that's going to help. So, slight boost to where we were. Our new head of youth development is a big step in the right direction, because we had a guy that was like a 3-4 in judging ability and potential, and working with youngsters was also about a 4 or maybe a 5. So massive jump in that. Personality is balanced, so it's not great, but at least it's not bad. But vertical tiki-taka, okay, 4-4-2. We're not going to get the best set of players there, but second formation, 5-3-2 wingbacks. So we should get some wingbacks, playing style, passing for that. So it's good. It's a good fit. He hasn't had a job in 10 years as a player. It's his first job as a coach. It's taken literally 2 full years before our very first player has gotten out of other players and into influential. We have a single influential player now in Astencio. Okay, it's finally starting to come together. Now, personality-wise, team, cross-board, almost everybody's balanced. We have a handful of more professional or higher determination players, and not too many that are on that low unambitious or low determination side. And we're slowly working on those, trying to make some progress. In fact, you can see right from here, who's fairly determined, like Matheson, Malum, but overall, not too many. Darlishta, Tutan, those Johansson, those are the ones we got to watch out for. But we're working on it. We're making some progress. But it's hard to get much because there's no leaders. So what's the right combination to get somebody to listen to someone in terms of mentoring? Here's what we have found so far is we have 2 guys that are imposing their will a little bit on others. Matheson was in a none category. Now all of a sudden he's getting some effect from the group. But the main thing is that Tutan is getting a fairly good effect and not impacting others. And that's the only group I can manage right now, because we only have a few players that are capable of mentoring others. And it's really hard to find those combinations, even though a few balanced with an unambitious could be a good combo. But there's no leaders. There's no leaders to get there. Astencio maybe is somebody that I can now throw in, because I finally have somebody who can push things a little bit and help drag up somebody who's not influential. Steps in the right direction. Also steps in the right direction. Our third youth intake has just happened. So we have an okay goalkeeper, it looks like. That could be useful. That could be very useful. The youth take ended up at 4.5 stars, so not our best. Not our best by any means. We have a few center mids, a couple center backs. That's been a weaker area for us. We'll see what we have there. But it looks like Asarad, 4 stars already. Equal best player Osprey, that would be our best player right now, right off the bat. And he can play center mid mainly. Ball-winning midfielder. I'm happy with that. I'm actually really happy to have a ball-winning midfielder joining the team. So we've got some top talents as well. And just one good only talent. That's not bad. Might not offer him a contract, though. We might have to let him go. But yeah, that's another good intake. And here's our first look at the new intake players in their actual abilities. Osby is the best player at the club, hands down already. We have not been seeing that progress in our players through these last couple of seasons because, it's all stalled out with our training ability, their potential, their overall quality. We're able to kind of just maintain their level. With a few of them kind of dropping off, but everybody else is kind of just hovering in the same place. Well, anyway, looking at this group, compared to the other U19s, they are significantly better. But that doesn't mean they're all better. I mean, there's the worst player is a goalkeeper, 29 of 77. Hansen Namoan was one we lost last season, but most of these guys are equal, if not better than what we have now. I do think it's time to probably thin things out a little bit. The recommendation was sign everybody, and it's a quicker button doing that than waiting and going through and offering contracts to each and every one of them and handling that. But there's some pay involved in having youth players. In fact, the youth players are making more than the senior players. The youth players are making $2,000 per year, where the senior players are making $72 per year on professional contracts, part-time professional contracts. So that's something to keep in mind. But looking at this group, again, right now, potential doesn't mean anything to me. It's what these guys come in at with current ability. Until we can do something, until we can sell a few, recover funds, blah, 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 take care of finances, until we can upgrade the training facilities and or coaching staff. Whichever of those two things can come along the way with better finances. Till that happens, we're stagnating in terms of current ability. So seeing the rise in reputation, the rise in manager reputation, the improved head of youth development and their reputation and subsequent, rising to the 8th tier. The combination of all those factors has seen a small increase in this generation. And that small increase means I've got 3 more guys that can go right to the top and compete and contribute to this squad. I have another 4 to 8 players that could contribute if they're the right player comparatively. Otherwise, we're now looking at reshaping the squad a little bit with, those new faces and a few others going down. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same squad going forward into this next season. Now, 1 tier higher means the opposition is, 1 tier better, but that's only slight. So I still expect we're going to cruise with this group. And speaking of, I'm going to go in. I'm going to take care of this, switch these out. Do expect to see these 3 faces in or around the first team, but not necessarily starters. But you never know. Depends on how they compare at positionally. Like Asarad here is a winger, a really good winger. I don't need a winger right now. He's a pressing forward. I like a pressing forward. He has some speed. He has some talent. He's pretty okay. Technically, he's got a lot of work to do, but strength is lacking. That does hurt a little bit, but I mean, I'd be pretty excited to have this guy out on the wing, but we currently don't have a formation using wingers. I'd have to reshape this just to get him into the side. That doesn't sound like a great plan at this point in time. Eventually, we might have to do something along those lines, but for now, I'd rather have them fit the system instead of reshape the system to fit them. But more and more, I think we could start adapting their roles slightly as we go along. I can commit a little time to that and see what we can do. As the players get better, I can expect more out of them, ultimately. As we're set to kick off the new season, we can see Wham Cam 2 is down in Group B. We are We've been drawn into Group A here for Division 7, aka the 8th tier. This time it's balanced, 10 teams per league, so we've got 9 opponents, so we'll have 18 matches this season. So every year we're playing a couple more games than the year before as we move our way on up. Now, as for this one, season preview, Wham Cam is the other favorite, really. That's looking to be the other potential team that stands in our way. We have heavily favored odds again this year, and this time around, we have the complete Dream 11. The media Dream 11 has all 11 from our team. The key players, the 2 newbies on the squad, Osbai, Acerod, they're the 2 at the top. Acerod's not even in the first 11, not even on the bench currently, and it's not that he's a good player, but he doesn't fit the system right now. So we are training him, and I was going to start training him as a strike partner, put him on top, but the more I looked at what his capabilities are and what the team's needs are, I'm training him at left mid. We'll talk a little more about why left mid when we get into our match, but we have no reason to think, there's teams that are so bad that they don't even have a chance. There's no odds for them. That's crazy. Our first game against a side that just got relegated. So can the recently promoted 8th tier team take on the recently relegated 6th tier team? I don't think we're going to have too much trouble with that, but we'll see how this first match goes. Season opener kicks off. Now, I have not gotten into the tactical adjustments just yet. I will as time progresses, but I'm trying to do things one step at a time. I don't want to commit a ton of time and get everything just right and then never have anything else to do. So I am trying to take the game in steps, in stages. We have enough quality about us to, see other teams off. But tweaking things over time gives me a little bit to kind of keep up with and do, and not just be on vacation all day, every day, right? A reason to step in and be a part of the team. All right, one change we've made is due to suspension. The last match of the season saw a yellow card accumulation. That one match suspension carried into today, but here is one of our intake guys, Lavas, now into the side, and Snellingen has been pushed to the deep lying forward with Lavas on top as he is a little bit better. Ostby also into the side at center mid, and Langvand. That's one change. Langvand is now into the side over Honore in comparison. Even though Honore is a similar player in terms of quality, Honore is also a striker, and he's better on top than he is in the back. Langvand fits the mold of a center back a little bit better, and therefore he is the new starter. So far, so good. We've already got XG right at 1. We've already got a goal. They've created one little chance, and possession is not dominant like it's been in the past. In fact, we're looking at about 50%. So I think we are starting to recognize an improvement in quality of opposition. But again, we're heavily favored, and you can still see the quality advantage we have, as Kelsey looked like he could have maybe tapped that in, but he had a very tight angle, so instead he turns out, and then he flashes the ball right across that difficult angle that he had and sets up Lovas for his first goal. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I do not shoot myself in the foot or jinx myself in any way, shape, or form, but let's say we're going to earn 3 points today and continue on. I'm going to move forward as Lavas now into space, and you can already see that extra quality as he earns a penalty to put this thing away and make it 3. He steps up to take this one. Will he finish it off? He does. It's 3. He's already got a brace. I think we have a better scoring option than Snellingen. Snellingen was good in that first season, but last year, just that tiny increase in defensive quality, Snellingen did not do as much a year ago as he could have, should have done. I think these little improvements that we're getting season on season is making up for the little bit of improvement that our defense or that our opposition is getting level by level. And we're just staying ahead of the curve right now to still be dominant in comparison. But when and where do we get some sort of improvement in training? I don't know. Right now the staff stagnating, the training facilities are stagnating. But again, I've got those little things to tweak. Can I get a little bit of improvement? Even if it's marginal, just a couple points here and there could go a long way to get us headed in the right direction. Nice little through ball there, Snelligen, Lavas. Nice link-up play. Anyway, okay, let's push forward as we make it 4 seconds before halftime. And that's Ostby, our new best player. Standing out. That was a great play there. Astencio, again, still very creative. Kalzi turns, and Ospe, yeah, pretty easy on that one. Pretty easy. Too much space. Keeper, good effort, but can't get on the end of it. Let's push forward about 6 matches and just see how the season is shaping up, and then we'll call it an episode. Well, it's not a shutout, but we are still in the same match and about to finish the game off. It's 8-1. We're piecing things together a little bit. There was one thing that I forgot I said I was going to mention. Korsfeld finished the game, but it was Kumar who was playing defensive mid, and that's my weak position right now. That's the 1 out of 11 that I know we could definitely do better. He's got some talent, but he's not really fit for the position, but nobody quite is. Now, the one who actually I think could be a bit of an upgrade is Matheson. So Matheson is my current left mid, and he's good, but he could definitely be an upgrade to Kumar at defensive mid. And then subsequently, if I move Matheson there, that's where Aceveld, or whatever his name was, that's where we could put him at. I just need to get him trained up first. We'll do that in time and make that little upgrade, and I think that, for the time being, will give us a solid first 11 across the board. And then that's that step in the right direction that we need to make some progress with the squad overall, and that's where I can start tweaking their individual roles and getting into those types of things that'll make us that little bit better and keep us on top. And, you know, maybe we have a shot at a perfect season at some point. Right now, this looks like this could be one. I mean, their XG was 0.41, but they managed to get a goal. Our XG, we were flying. But, you know, reality, we should have scored about 5. We got 8. It was a good day. Since we amassed the 8-1 pummeling at the start of the season, things haven't been as good since, but they've been good. 2-1 on the road, 3-0 at home, 2-0 on the road. So we had to play with 10 for a good chunk of that game. We did already take a draw. It was late 89th minute where they got the equalizer at 2-0 on the road. 6 matches in, third of the way into the season, we do lead. We have a 4-point lead in the league. That's marginal. It's not huge. It's not a done deal yet. We have plenty of work to do through the second 2/3 of the season. But for next episode, we're going to pick up another third of the way into the season. So we'll progress to that point where we're 2/3 of the way through, do a quick check-in, and then get to the end of the season. Because I still suspect that we should be in cruise mode. Again, as we tweak things a little bit as we go through the season and make a little progress on getting these guys honed in and getting the best out of them as, you know, the challenge gets ever greater. That is going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.